It's probably closer to 20 years now.
Wow,
So definitely getting up there, getting older.
So you were working for someone before?
Yeah, I was working for a local company here called the Window Gang. And,
I've heard of them.
Yeah, so franchise company. Different owners, but they're still around. It's a franchise company, so that kind of got me into the franchise idea of like, hey, I want to franchise Gleam Team and become kind of like the number one franchise brand in the space. So that's a few years down the road, but something I definitely got on in the back of my mind.
What made you decide to jump on and open up your own place?
Really more kind of a necessity, I would say. Things weren't going the best over there, and I was expecting my third kid at that point. My partner was expecting his third kid. So I was like, we weren't really planning to do it together. Yeah. But working together, in the truck one day, I was like, hey, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, about starting out on my own. I think I could do this. And he's like, I've been having a lot of the same thoughts. Mm-hmm. So it's like we prayed about, hey, do we want to partner up? We have, some good competing strength or complementing strengths. Mm-hmm. He's good at some stuff that maybe I'm not the best at, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So we prayed about it and we took the plunge. Wow. So that was 2011.
That's so interesting, man. So when my third son was born, that's also when I jumped off and went off on my own. Yeah. Yeah. There's something to that because I think in my case, and I've said this before, but I just felt where I was at, there wasn't room for growth and room for me to be able to kind of fulfill my vision as to what I wanted to do. And
so you were working for someone else within that space as well?
I was a partner with my uncle in another flooring company. And we started that when I was 20 years old. I was 20, he was like 32. But I was a small partner. He was like, hey, it's a long story, but he was like, do you want to start this business? Like, yeah, what do I have to lose? I'm 20 years old. And so we had a good run for a good 11, 12 years together and built a pretty good deal. And but it just got to the point where I wasn't growing financially, again, the vision I had for what I thought we could do potentially, it was just limited because there's two different personalities and nothing wrong with that. It's just, and my uncle's a great guy and we just had a different, philosophy. So then I just decided to go off on my own, and the best thing I ever did, or one of the best things. It's definitely scary, but you just have to pray about it and just
take the plunge.
That's it, man. I've talked about that many times and I've always been wired that way where I just jump in and figure it out. But I just know like if it's something that I feel is going to be a good thing, I just do it, we make mistakes, sometimes not all the choices that we make are the best, but then that's how you learn. And
absolutely. Yeah.
You have
definitely made my share of them.
You have to be willing to risk though, man, and be willing to fail. And sometimes a lot of that self-doubt comes in the failure, but then you kind of get back up. I've always been of the mindset of just kind of getting back up, and we all are. It's tough for men, I think, for anybody really, just to kind of accept failure and I always try to encourage my kids, even like when it's sports, right? It's like you use the analogy, you play baseball and you miss a grounder or you strike out, dude, just worry about the next one. Don't let that kind of
got to have that short memory.
Yes, and that's same thing with business, man. Same thing with entrepreneurship. Same thing with anything that you're doing. It's just like it's not always going to be roses and butterflies, like they say. You're going to have these, crap days. You're going to have days that you're going to be like, especially in the beginning. That's how it was for me.